engineering is the ability to absorb, thrive, and then recover. The faster you're able to recover, the more resilient.
Sa Pilipino, ito ay katibayan at katatagan sa mahirap na sitwasyon at ang kakayahang bumangon muli.
Yung ecological naman, the ability to adapt. Yung evolutionary resilience, vale, to really innovate and be creative.
Resilience is really being able to spring back from adversity, but it should have learning, and therefore it strengthens you to be more resilient than before the adversity came to you.
Before COVID-19, the Philippines was already on to SMT-based measures to improve its resilience capacity. With COVID, the country was awakened to the need for resilience of our economic, health, and educational status as well.
The country as a whole is, I think, not so resilient because while we have the capabilities, the opportunities, and the resources to cope with COVID-19, the whole body is suffering because the leadership and management is not working so well. When it comes to individual resilience, those who have more resources, capabilities, and opportunities will be more resilient than those who are not.
A lot of the problems really may be interconnected, vale. You have to look at it from a holistic point of view. It encompasses more than natural sciences or physical problem, vale, but also it gets into the ecological, biological, as well as social pa nga.
Among issues and problems we have are poverty, ecosystem destruction, climate change, and bravery.
Much of our attention is placed only after the disasters happen. What we should do really is to take early action years before the hazard strikes, and we should put our attention and our resources into that type of planning.
We need SMT-based transdisciplinary and inclusive approach to coping with possible hazards.
The fragmentation of society needs to be resolved for resilience.
Communication is very, very important, and we should communicate to the people using not just scientific communication means, but through arts, music, understand the mindset of the Filipino people so we can communicate better.
Well, the way to move forward is interoperability.
So we have to do a lot of work as a person, as a community, and as an institution to really have resilience as one of the values of the Filipinos. Yung tunay na resilience na towards improvement.
Building resilience requires sustainability science inspired by transdisciplinary approach.
To be sustainable, you have to be resilient. To be resilient, you have to be sustainable.
Go natural. Go with nature's flow. Non-structural or natural interventions, as well as good planning, is the most sustainable.
Finally, we need to harness and strengthen the Filipino spirit of bayanihan.
Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Good afternoon, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Mayapag at panapo na ibag nga malem, masantos niya ngarem, marhay na hapon, maayong hapon, maupay na kulop, maayong ugto. Assalamualaikum. Buenas tardes. Annyeonghaseyo. Konnichiwa. Salamat siyang mabuhay po sa ating lahat. At ngayon ako napaka-exciting na naman po ng ating pag-uusapan sa hapong ito. Welcome sa ating 21st o ika-21 episode ng Kamustahan para sa magandang kinabukasan. Hindi lang nga maganda, dapat makaayos, mabuti at makabuluhang kinabukasan. Kagaya na mga naging topics po natin ng mga nakaraang buwan, isa na naman pong interesting na topic ang ating pag-uusapan sa hapon na ito. Naku, I'm sure kilala niyo po yung mga brands na babanggitin ko mamaya, lalong-lalo na yung ating mga guest na passionista. Naku, kasi napaka-exciting nito, no? Ang title po ng ating topic para sa hapon na ito ay Bayo's Journey to Zero, Passioning Change in Community Development. At ang atin pong panahuuhin sa hapong ito ay isang matagumpay na negosyante. Kasama po ang kanyang may bahay na si Miss Ana. Sila po ay namamahala ng isang sikat na fashion retail brand. Hindi lang isa. Kasama dito nangunguna ang Bayo, 𝗙𝗃𝗶𝗃, vice versa, online platforms, 𝗙shops.com.ph, at ang Bayo Foundation na nagsisilbing corporate social responsibility arm ng mga kumpanyang nabanggit ko kanina. Ang atin pong panauhin ay naniniwala dun sa tinatawag na circular model of business. Kung ano po yan, mamaya malalaman natin. No? He also oversees a fully integrated production facility kung saan meron po silang sarili nilang fabric printing plant and embroidery department. O talagang makikita nyo po kung kayo po ay namimili sa Bayo, makikita nyo na yung kanilang mga clothing line ay talagang merong embroidery at saka merong pang printing na, no? Colored printing at ang ganda-ganda ng kanilang mga brands. Bago po siya sumabak sa mundo ng fashion retail, siya po ay nag-practice ng abogasya at accountancy for more than 10 years, no? Siya po ay nagtrabaho din bilang isang bank examiner sa Central Bank of the Philippines na ngayon ay Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Nako, ang ina-advocate at pinopromote niya po ay yung women empowerment na sa tingin niya ay napakahalagang tool o para sa nation building, no? In line with this, marami siyang sinusuportahang women weavers sa mga various communities ng ating bansa. At nagbibigay din po siya ng mga livelihood projects through the brands and foundation and retail arms na nabanggit ko kanina. At siya po ay in the forefront of reviving the sericulture industry by encouraging women farmers in Kapangan, Benguet to take up silkworm farming. Once again, dahil medyo napabayaan po yung silkworm farming na yan as a means to prop up their source of income. So napakaganda po. At nung nakaraang 4 na taon po, he has also been supporting the efforts of the retail brands in adopting sustainability as a way of making and selling clothes. No? Yan po ang effort na pinangunahan ng Bayo to become the first fashion brand in the Philippines to become a participant member of the prestigious United Nations Global Compact. At noong 2021 po, siya po ay nagsagawa ng tinatawag nating 2021 Women's Empowerment Principles Awards. Bayo has also won the Gender Responsive Marketplace Award for their exemplary practice on embracing the women's empowerment principles in Asia Pacific. Excited na ako kasi paborito ko po kasing brand ang Bayo. So ngayon po, i-welcome po natin ang ating panauhin na nagpapasalamat kami na very busy po ito but he really took time out para po tayo ay mapabigyan sa hapon na to. Let us all welcome Attorney Leo Lagon.
Good afternoon po. Good afternoon everyone.
Yes,
I'm so
sir.
honored to be in the company of scientists and practicing science and technology. Okay, let me share with you my presentation. So Again, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. To start po, alam ko masyadong mahaba na yung inintroduce ni Dada dun sa aming brand. Pero totoo po yan, 30 years na po yung Bayo. And kami lang po siguro yung fully integrated na manufacturing na brand na may sarili pong manufacturing facility. Kami po kasi very important po kasi yung manufacturing facility. It's because by opening the manufacturing facility here in the Philippines, we were able to contribute in our own little way in generating employment, di ba? So that's why we are trying to build up our own value chain. So as we build the value chain, we employ Filipinos, which is really very important to revive our economy, especially during these times when we just came from the pandemic. So ang brand po namin totoong Filipino, hindi lang po sa salita, kundi po sa puso. Kami po maski tingnan niyo po yung aming napakahabang history. Never pa ho kami kumuha ng banyagang taga-endorse ng aming brand. Puro ho Pilipino, simula po kay Lea Salonga, kay 𝗕𝗃𝗄𝗆, lahat po yan Pilipino lahat. So hindi lang po kami nagsasabi na suportahan yung local dahil kami po ay taga-Pilipinas. Gusto po namin sabihin sa inyo na kung gusto nyo kaming suportahan bilang lokal, kami po ay sinusuportahan nyo dahil kami ay nagbibigay sa inyo ng magandang produkto. Hindi po dahil sa taga-Pilipinas po kami. So we always consider profit with honor as our badge. No? And now, 5 years since 2017, we're slowly converting the business model from the previous linear model into a circular model. Where ang aming ngayon, ang aming slogan parati dapat walang maiiwan. Lahat dapat makikinabang sa aming negosyo. Simula sa pinakamaliit na tao hanggang sa pinakamalaking supplier, dapat lahat kami will belong to a supply chain na lahat nakikinabang sa isa't isa. So, dahil hindi naman po pwede na si Bayo lang po na brand ang gagastos, kami po ay tumayo ho ng Bayo Foundation. Pero sa totoo lang po, hindi naman po kami nagsusulisit ng funds sa ibang tao. Kami lang din po, bulsa po namin ang ginagamit namin para sa Bayo Foundation. At gusto lang po namin, we just wanted to differentiate the brand from our corporate responsibility. So we set up Bayo Foundation just to justify that the actions being adopted by the foundation is really non-profit, because we don't want to be accused that we are all doing this just because of our brand. Actually, what we are doing right now is really beyond business. This is already beyond Bayo, because Bayo is already established. So we have 200 branches all over three brands, and we don't even have to do this. So, but we feel that we have responsibility to society, and we have to give back to the public, which has been good to our brands. Imagine 30 years, so it's about time that we also pay back. So why did we? Okay, wait. So in our path to circularity, we put up our blueprint, which is what we call Journey to Zero. It is part of our commitment that we are serious in our efforts to solve the problems which we have helped cause, which is destroying the environment. Because right now the fashion industry is the #2 polluter in the environment. So it's about time that we step up and try to be part of the solution. So why did we decided to be part of the solution and stay away from really doing the usual business? It all started when my 13-year-old daughter went to our factory and saw the piles of trash that we were throwing. And when he asked me, "So, Dad, what are you doing with all this trash?" You know, that was a very innocent question, but I was so ashamed because, excuse me, because I don't know the answer. I really don't know where the garbage truck, the garbage collector was throwing that. That was so, as I've said, I don't want to be asked again. So right after, we started vigorously researching on how to deal with our fabric waste. You know what? We discovered that 35% of the fabrics that we are using is being thrown as waste. So that means 1/3 of our raw materials are just being thrown away at the landfills. So we said it's just timely that we have to find a solution, because by finding the solution, we as a brand would save at least less than 35% of what we are throwing. That is why we conceived our campaign, Journey to Zero. So these are so actually Journey to Zero started around 2017, but we launched it in 2019 together with milestones that we have achieved towards zero waste. It was, as I've said, a commitment towards ourselves in order to benchmark. We have to benchmark the progress that we are making vis-a-vis the goals that we want to achieve, or the goals that we have set for ourselves. And since 2019, I'm happy to tell you that these are the several milestones that we have achieved in addressing our waste. So first of all, we installed a software that can maximize the fabric, where this software can compress the patterns and maximize the entire length of the fabric. With this alone, we were able to bring down waste from a high of 35% to a low of 10%. So imagine we saved 25%. That's a great savings on our part. Now, the fabric offcuts, we were sent out to our supported communities, usually the weaving communities, for use in the supplemental weft in the hand weaving process. So if you will see some of our materials, there are accents that goes with the fabric. Those are fabric offcuts that came from our facility, which are now integrated into those fabrics that they have entered into the looms. And right now, our fabric suppliers are required to submit to us certifications that the ones issued by the global organic textile standards, that you document the sustainable production chain in their manufacturing process. And we are now in partnership with the DOST. We are trying to use the natural yarns from pineapple, from even bakong, a waste material that's endemic only in Isabela. We are using that as part of our supply process. We have entered also in a memorandum of agreement with the DOST to use their natural dyes. So we have now fabrics that are dyed by coffee pulps from cogon grass and 𝗙𝘃𝗍 leaves. So we're doing this in cooperation with the DOST. So now, even if we have to use polyester, we have to use the recycled ones. And we have to require also that the certification be issued to us that the dye that was used to dye the fabric is 𝗘𝗍𝗃 certified, to make sure that no harmful chemicals were used in the process. If you would be going into our online shop, styleshops.com.ph, you would see that we are computing the carbon footprint that we are using and offsetting it with this third party that we have engaged to compute and offset the carbon footprints. So if you buy from us, they will email to you how much carbon were used and where it was offsetted. So those are the things that we have done to improve what do you call this, to improve the manufacturing process of our products. Of course, the Sustainable Development Goals was accelerated when we became member of UNGC, which calls for actionable change under the Sustainable Development Goals. I'm proud to also to tell you that in the span of 2 years, we were members. We became participant member in 2021, and my wife, si Ana Lagon, was now voted as one of the board of trustees of UNGC. That's quite a feat, knowing that most of the members there, most of the board of trustees are representatives of big corporations, and I think Bayo is the smallest of that group. So we are proud to be elected in a short period of time. That means that I think they believe in what we are doing. So, and on the first year of our membership, as Dada have said, we were chosen as the most outstanding implementer of the SDGs among the MSMEs, which gives us a reason to really strengthen our efforts in how to align with the goals of the United Nations Global Compact. Magyayabang lang po ako ng konti. Ito po yung mga napapanalunan namin, as I have said, na-mention na rin. Kami po nanalo dyan on gender responsive. We were again, at yung aming pong pagpapanalo dyan, hindi lang po sa Pilipinas yan. All the winners were forwarded to the Asia Pacific region, and again we came up champion in the gender responsive marketplace. In 2022, we again got the leadership commitment category as champion, and second runner-up again in community engagement and partnerships category. So not bad. In 2 years, we were able to harvest all of these awards. And tomorrow po, we are one of the finalists in the Inspiring Filipina Entrepreneurship of Go Negosyo. So hopefully by tomorrow, we might have another feather in our cap if my wife will be chosen as one of the winners of the Inspiring Filipina Entrepreneurship. So indeed, this recognition that we have received in very short time is but a reflection of how we give importance to and maintain relationships with the women-led businesses and communities. So I would like to present to you the communities that we have worked for. As we have moved forward and accelerated the efforts of our Journey to Zero programs, we discovered that community development is closely intertwined with sustainability in order to attain the circularity of purpose. Because what is the use of using sustainable materials when there is nobody who will use it? So community development is very important to us to complete the process. So the first community that we supported was the Unbention Silk Enterprise, which is based in, I don't know if you're familiar with Gawad Kalinga in Enchanted Farm in Angat, Bulacan. Okay, so this is the reason why we are so, that weaving industry is very close to our heart, because it has always been considered as a sunset industry due to its high prices and low consumer demand. And we purposely target women communities composed of unemployed women in order to empower them to earn a decent livelihood without having to leave or to abandon their roles in their houses as mother of their children, as wife of their husband. Because we believe that if we empower these women and they gain financial independence, the direct beneficiary will always be the family. my apologies to my fellow men, but you know, when men develop financial independence, we usually tend to spend it on somewhere else. But if we focus on mothers and wives, those unemployed women, those contribution to the economy is never even considered because it's for free. If they develop financial independence, we believe that the direct beneficiary will always be the family. So weaving, we think, is the perfect fit for these development goals. Since housewives can weave even in their houses, they don't even have to leave. So that is why the weaving community in 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗃 was perfect because they just live inside the community. And this is where we immerse ourselves and study the step-in-step process of weaving and trying to figure out why it is expensive in the first place. So we apply the things that we want to change and introduce innovations, not necessarily by super technology, but just by improving the efficiency, whereby the production would increase and would in turn increase the take-home pay of weavers. Because of the innovations that we introduced, we were able to double the salaries of the take-home pay of the weavers there. For the simple reason that we found out that, you know, why weaving the hand-woven fabrics are expensive? Because it will take them 4 days to set up 20 yards of yarns. So imagine the cost of four days inputted in the cost of the fabrics. When we introduced our innovation, we were able to set up 100 yards of yards in just a day. So we saved 4 days right away. That is why we were able to bring down the cost. But in order to provide sustainability and stability in while learning the process, our brands provided a ready market for them because ito yung problema eh. Aayusin natin, wala naman palang bumibili. So later on, wala na naman silang gagawin. Balik na naman sila sa dati. Aalis na naman, mag-aasawa na naman, lilipat na naman. So ang ginawa namin, we provided a ready market for them. So they can continue weaving without having to worry about where to sell it tomorrow. So kami, nagpapaluwal, kami lahat, maski hindi namin alam kung saan namin gagawin, we just buy and buy and buy everything that they produce while we are learning the process. So using the same formula, using that very same formula, we opened a weaving center in Pasig. You know, in cosmopolitan cities, they don't even know what weaving is all about, but they never learned about the rich culture of the weaving industry. So and because Pasig has a progressive-minded mayor, he saw that this is very useful in his campaign to develop the livelihood capabilities, the livelihood of his constituents. So the city Pasig vets the candidates, will undergo the training while our foundation provides for all the equipment. Ang ginagawa kasi namin, inaalis namin lahat ng problema ng weavers. So if they need looms, we provide. If they need yarns, we provide. If they need market, we buy it for them. So sila, wala na silang gagawin kundi mag-weave na lang na mag-weave. So, and that's the reason why it becomes sustainability. So right now, hindi lang namin po ina-announce, pero yung take-home pay po nila is more than 1,000 per day. So that is more than twice the minimum wage. And right now po, right now what they're doing is, right now, the time to work is unlimited. So if they want to work from 6 o'clock up to 10 o'clock in the evening, they can do so. So they hold their own destiny, whether they want to earn more money or not. So we are now using this very same business model in supporting weaving communities in Baguio City. We are now operating the very first Baguio Creative Hub in Baguio City in collaboration with Mayor Magalong. So we are now helping the the weaving communities there in the province of, not only in the city of Baguio, but also in the province of Benguet and the Cordilleras. But you see, taking care of the communities for their livelihood is just one half of the equation. We have also to teach them that we have to use these natural yarns, and we have to stop using these harmful materials, because that's the only way. We have to start from them. Otherwise, they will be, even if they have this livelihood, if we don't teach them the proper use of sustainable materials, then baliwala to lahat. So now we are again providing them with all the yarns, but this time yarns that are cotton and what do you call this? And those polyester yarns that are being dyed using Ocotex technology. So as Dada also mentioned, we also be trying to revive the silkworm industry. The silkworm industry is very lucrative, but nobody wants to do it because it's very, very hard to set it up. So now, again, in partnership with the PTRI DOST, we are now trying to build silkworm communities in Kapangan, also in Misamis Oriental, and now they also in 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 So we are not stopping here. We are even going backward and are trying to talk to previous cotton farmers in Iloilo and in nearby municipalities to check on the process and to study the reason why they are not planting cotton anymore. You see, this is what we have seen, the problem. Everyone wants to use Philippine fabrics. We even have a law that requires the government agencies to use Philippine fabrics. But I would like to ask you, where are the Philippine fabrics? Wala. Because nobody goes back to the farmers and tell them, okay, you plant cotton. Nobody goes back to the silkworm farmers and say, okay, can you raise silk again and make cocoon so that we can have silk as a yarn so that we can use it for fabrics? So everybody's harping on, oh, we have a law requiring agencies to use Philippine fabrics. But where are the fabrics? Wala. Wala pa tayong ginagawang ganyan. So lahat kasi puro ano tayo puro report. Ang ganda. Every year may summit, every year may convention. But until now, I still have to see a sustainable supply of Philippine fabrics. So this is what in a nutshell, our circular economy. We take care of the process to ensure the sustainability from the source of natural materials that will be turned into yarns, the yarns delivered to the weaving communities, to be turned into fabrics that will be eventually sold to the open market. And the final process, of course, is the sweeping of the waste that it produces in our facilities so that the same shall not anymore add to the landfills. I was not able to add here, but in order to gain foothold in a very lucrative market so that we have a space, a platform where we can sell the weaves produced, we converted one of our stores in Greenbelt 5. It's a very profitable store, but we closed it. And we decided to rename it Bayo Atelier just to become the platform of the hand-woven fabrics, because that's the only way. Without the market, we will all be going back to the same vicious cycle of, ay, wala na naman, si Manang, wala, namatay na, wala na mag-weave. So, ganun ang nangyayari. So, somebody has to do it, and we took the gamble, and we are now on our second month. And okay naman, it's surviving. So, we have now a platform, a commercial platform for all of these hand-wovens. And so it is very important that we have to intervene in community work process every step of the way. We have to teach them. We have to improve their efficiency. Kasi wala naman sila eh. I mean, they don't have exposure. Wala silang global. They don't know about what's happening globally. So yung kanilang colors, ganun pa rin, red, black, green. Kasi yun ang nakikita nila. Pag sa Baguio ka, puro red, puro black, puro green because it's strawberry. So akala nila yun because you know the patterns are being influenced by your environment, by the things that you see in your environment. So kung puro strawberry nakikita nila, so syempre ang color nila is red and green, 'di ba? So ganun lang 'yon. But so we cannot just go straight and tell these communities, "Oy, bigyan niyo kami ha ng pinakamura." You know, you have to give cheap fabrics because otherwise di namin mabenta. No, we can't do that. We cannot push them to do that. We must help them in the thought process. Tuturuan na natin sila every step of the way and improve their workflow so that when they become members of our value chain, they can keep up with the levels of efficiency that we require. So yun ang iniisip namin eh. Hindi natin sila pwedeng papabayaan. Kailangan turuan natin sila ng tamang pamamaraan. Magaling na sila eh. Ang problema lang nila, how to adapt to the system, to the market that we are envisioning for them. So these programs that I have mentioned are but tiny ripples of development that wala ngang impact to eh. Napakaliit na sa merkado. Napakaliit. But what we have proven here is that sustainable goals are doable. A sustainable livelihood for the weavers will help them become productive members of society. And I know for a fact that if they become productive members of the society, we create new markets. You know, from C, they will become D, they will become, from D, they will become C, they will become B in the future. But, you know, we are not creating new markets. As a matter of fact, we are transferring the C, the class C, class D until they become class E. So wala tayong market. Sino pang bibili sa Bayo kung wala na tayong class C, class D, di ba? So, if we are going to use these regenerative materials through cotton farming and sericulture, we will really generate a demand that would encourage also the farmers to take up farming again because it gives them sustainable livelihood. Sino ba naman ang gusto mag-sericulture? Eh, ang bili ng mga tao sa kanila, 200 pesos ang kupon. Sino ang gusto mag-cotton farming? 25 pesos per kilo ang bibilin sa kanila. Kulang pa nga sa pagbili nila ng seeds eh. Pero kung bibigyan mo sila ng lahat, bibigyan mo sila ng seeds, bibigyan mo sila ng organic fertilizer, bibigyan mo sila tapos harvest ka na lang, siguro mas lalaki ang production nila. Instead of just blaming them, eh kulang kasi, dapat 1 kilo, dapat, you know, those things like that. So all of these activities, small as they may seem, will now form part of our ecosystem that will result in hopefully a more sustainable fashion industry because we are not claiming that we are a sustainable company, but we are one of the first to adopt the sustainable way of doing business. But our task has not been is not done. While we have several initiatives to use these materials, such as natural fibers that return to the soil without harming the environment, we still have about 5 to 10% of our fabrics that we throw in the landfill. So what we are now doing is we are now looking at ways, not as something that we have to avoid, but as a valuable resource that will open new revenue stream opportunities. We are now in the process of developing a project that would reprocess textile waste, including unwanted clothes, those damaged, to turn them back into fabrics and yarns, and which would optimize the Journey to Zero program. We are also doing this in partnership with the DOST PTRI. So if you would observe, puro DOST kami. Parang gusto ko nga sabihin, parang DOST lang yung gobyerno na nagpa-function. Kasi sila lang yung magandang mga programa na nakakatulog talaga not only in science and also in developing the technology. So we will continue to upcycle these textile waste and use them as a supplementary weft in the hand weaving process. We also would piloting a project that will combine residual plastic and combine it with our textile waste to form new materials such as floor tiles and wall panels. But you see, we know our limitations. Alam ko, puro kayo science, puro kayo technology. Tulungan nyo naman kami. Ang alam lang namin po ay magawa ng damit. Hindi po namin alam anong ibig sabihin ng recycling, materials engineering. So the process is a bit slow. Slower than making clothes. Kasi kung damit lang pag-uusapan, I can tell you the many ways. But you see, this is beyond our expertise. So the progress is slow. We now have our machine, an extruder machine that would basically mix this textile waste into residual waste and make it into tiles. I'll show you our first prototype. This is our MOA store. If you see that area where the Bayo logo is, it's made of residual plastics and textile waste. So it's the prototype. So we wanted to scale it up so that we can use it in all our stores. So if you see, these are all made up of residual waste and textile waste. Imagine if we can develop this and scale this up, then we will have no more textile waste in our factory. And we have also beginning to develop textile boards that we can use for the ceiling, for tabletops. So those are the things that are in the pipeline. So, but you know, it's that the reason why I'm asking for help is that we don't know the strength of these materials. It would be very hard for us to be selling this to people, and then after a while it will warp pala, or it will break, right? You know, we don't know yet. That's why we are testing it in all our stores first before we really sell it commercially. So this is what we are. We are a very small company, but what we have are big dreams. This is what makes us separate and distinct. It's because of our propensity to help and to dream big. We have limited resources. Hindi naman kami anak ng kung sino man eh. We are alam nyo naman, nakita nyo naman kung saan ako nanggaling. I was just an ordinary employee. And this is just between me and my wife. So, wala kaming only funds, in short. But our initiatives brought by our 30-0 are leading proof again that in spite of the limitations, in spite of the lack of funds, it can be done. It can be done. And hopefully, our better colleagues in the industry will take up from where we left off and adopt also the same path of sustainability. We are really ready to go all the way. And those obstacles that we have met along the way will only serve as our guide toward our goal of a circular and a sustainable company. So in final, let me say, I just hope that I still have a daughter, 13 years old, and I hope that she comes to the factory again and asks us, how are we disposing the trash? And if ever that happens, I would be now proud of telling her all the stories that I have been telling to you today. That since 2017, Bayo stood firm in making a difference. As I have said, the path to sustainability is not easy. The quest for circularity is endless. But despite the imperfections and the pains, we shall continue and travel the very lonely path towards sustainability. you know, my friends, they've been asking me, what is in it for you? Sabi niya, ay kayo, okay na kayo eh. You're made. Ano na kayo? Proof na lang kayo. Okay na. You have to ano kung sa kotse, naka-auto cruise ka na lang o walang ano, pwede na. So why do you have to, you know, do all of these things? Di ba? Napakahirap ha. For those of you who have experience in community development, when you talk to these communities, sila pang tinutulungan mo, sila pang minsan galit. Kasi gusto nila ayuda, because this is what we have been trying to do to them. Charity. That is why I'm always telling LGUs, you know, you should move away from the culture of ayuda, the culture of charity. What we have to give, what we want to give to these people, to these communities, opportunity. You have to create opportunities so that they can be entrepreneurs themselves and they can also be employers in the near future. That's the only way. So what is it for us? Okay, let me answer by telling you a story. In Pasig, in Pasig. So we have these weavers. The head, the master weaver, as we call her, she's the one supervising, and she came from Abra. And so, siguro mga 6 months now in our weaving activity, I finally visited the place again after a long while, and you know, she approached me, and she was crying. And I said, patay. Ano na naman kayang hingin nito? So I was trying to avoid her. Kasi nga, alam mo naman to eh, mga community, hingi ng hingi yan eh, basta makita nila, di ba? But you see, what she told me really surprises me. Sabi niya, sir, gusto ko lang magpasalamat. Sabi niya, you know, in Abra, I was being paid 33 pesos per yard for weaving fabric, 33 pesos a yard. So sabi niya, akala ko wala na akong future. Akala ko, sabi niya, wasted na yung buhay. Sabi niya, dito ko lang nakita, may future pa pala ako. Di ba? So, this is the reason why we keep on going. This is the reason why we will not abandon the community development that we have started. Despite the odds, we will continue on doing this, and hopefully people will also help us because we cannot do this alone. So with that, thank you very much for your time and listening for 40 minutes. Thank you everyone and good afternoon.
Yes, thank you, sir. Nako, papalakpak ako talagang sobrang, I would like to congratulate you dun sa pioneering activity na ginawa nyo at gagawin nyo pa sa mahabang panahon. But as I thought you're going to have a video presentation. Wala na po or you forgot about it? Akala ko may video ka. Wala
Ay,
na.
ako? Eh, wala.
Akala ko, okay. So, kanina po you were mentioning, wala pa tayong mga questions, pero ako siguro magtatanong. So you were mentioning about yung partnership nyo with the OST na talagang you are treasuring as of now. Wala na po ba kayong ibang mga government agencies na naging ka-partner when you were starting? Like, ano po yung naging role ng DTI sa business nyo? Aside from giving aside from applying for the name, kasi yun yung
actually ito in fairness, no, government agencies have really good programs. Sa Baguio, DTI, we are working with DTI, DSWD, DOLE now, and Department of Tourism. Ang problema lang ng government, wala silang chat group. So pare-pareho silang ginagawa using the same models, using the same people. So yung mga tao doon, attend ng seminars nila, pare-pareho. So walang nangyayari because walang nagko-coordinate, walang nagsisync. So that is what we are trying to do. We are trying to tell them, okay, put your programs under us and we will implement it and we will vet and we will be the one to implement it. Right now, si Dole, they have this tupad. So ngayon, ginagawa niya, they will vet the association. Gagawin namin, kami bibili ng mga yarns, tuturuan namin sila kung anong gagawin, then we'll buy the products. 'Di ba? May mapupuntahan talaga yung programa ng gobyerno. So yun ang problema ng ng government agencies natin.
So walang group chat, so meaning hindi sila nagko-communicate with each other yung mga.
Actually hindi lang nagko-communicate, nag-aaway-away pa kasi they are trying to fight with kung ano yung
natatawan na si Academician Rodolfo.
Sorry baka may matatamaan ako pero that's
kasi
the
nakataas ang kamay ni Academician Zanza, may question po pero natatawa na siya sa comment niyo. Yes ma'am, go ahead.
Ay, nako, congratulations to Attorney Lagon.
Salamat po.
Napakaganda ko ng inyong presentation. Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na na social engineering. Parang yun ang ginagawa nyo, nagkakaroon ng change of behavior. Kasi nga, isang nga sa napapansin natin, mayroong mentality ang mga Pilipino na, ano tawag nyo, yung ano tawag nyo doon, yung laging tulong, laging tulong.
Yung dole out.
Oh,
ayuda.
Hindi, dole. Ayuda mentality, no? May behavior na ang Pilipinong ganyan. So, sa maraming problema sa sustainability, halimbawa ng maraming bagay sa atin, lagi na lang, paano natin masusustain kung ayuda palagi, no? Lagi na lang ang gobyerno magbibigay. Hindi kakayanin ng gobyerno lahat. So yung ginagawa ninyo, ay tinatawag dyan social engineering, change behavior. Parang pinabago ninyo yung pag-iisip nila, yung attitude nila, yung values nila. Para hindi laging ayuda. Kasi parang nagkakaroon sila ng mas magandang income sa ginagawa nyo, tsaka talagang ginagawa nyo ng paraan para hindi laging ayuda ang iisip nila. So, congratulations sa ginagawa ninyo. Yung
Salamat
social
po.
engineering.
Salamat. So, ang ganda at least.
Social engineering pala ang
may
tawag
bagong term na po ako, social engineering.
Social engineering. Yun pala yung
Yun pala ang tamang term.
Academician Asansa, yun pala yung ginagawa nila attorney sa Bayo is tinuturuan nilang mangisda at hindi lang lagi nagbibigay ng isda.
Yes.
In the Bible, ganun yun okay. So, social engineering pala ang tawag doon. Yes, okay.
Thank you,
ma'am.
Behavior, values, and everything.
Okay po.
Maraming salamat, Attorney.
Thank you. Bago ko po tawagin, kasi nakataas din ang kamay ni Mr. Cesar Gomez, meron po ditong sinasabi si Academician Ruben. Sabi niya, Attorney Leo, saludo ko sa inyong mga ginagawa para sa mga maralita. Ayan. From Academician Ruben Villarreal. Okay. Yes, go ahead, Sir Cesar.
Good afternoon, Attorney.
Good afternoon po.
Congratulations. Your presentation is very impressive. Just 2 to 3 related items, I'm wondering if you have a brochure which I can download, because I'd like to share what you have shared with us with others. But ang maganda sana, if this brochure, you can update it as you want to update, because it's a very powerful presentation and with the brochure, because you're a living example, which leads me to 2 other suggestions. I am with the Management Association of the Philippines Agribusiness and Countryside Development Foundation. I used to be vice chair. I'm just now a mere member. But I'm interested in your working with farmers. Okay? And I'm thinking I'd like to help. I'd like to suggest you document your relationship with the farmers, because I think that's going to be a very powerful learning session for people in general. Third suggestion is you're linking with LGUs. Again, you can also document your experiences and suggestions with LGUs, because these are powerful learning tools for others. So those 3, a brochure, document what you're doing with the farmers. I can also link up with you there, and then with LGUs. Thank you and congratulations.
Yeah, I'll take note of all of that, and it's a very good suggestion.
Nung wala pa po kanina, if I may say so, kanina po kasi nung kami pa lang ni attorney yung nag-uusap, talagang very eager siya talaga na i-disseminate yung experience nila with the public. Wala nga siyang venue, she was saying later. So, yung mga, itong ginawa niya dito, telling us what their experiences are with Bayo is one way. Ito pa yung first time na sabi ni Sir na talagang naikukwento niya yung beginnings nila. And then siguro yung mga suggestion mo, Sir Cesar, is very opportunity. Ito yung perfect opportunity din na magawa nila. Yung documentation is very important.
Siguro the reason why we are not so, so fond of documentation, as I have been telling to Dada kanina, we don't want kasi to be accused of using this community development work as a tool to promote our brand. That is why we are always saying this is beyond the brand anymore. We are not even mentioning the brand. It's just because we put Bayo there because siya ang nagsuspend. Pero kung wala lang, kung may panggastos lang, we don't even have to mention the brand because without all of this community development, the brand will survive You see, but pero siguro yun nga sabi sa amin ng UN, you cannot be silent. Actually, hindi naman first time lang nasasabi. We have been to numerous forums, di ba? Pero we wanted kasi to spread this na we cannot do this alone. We're so small, di ba? Imagine if a big company will also do this. The impact would be bigger. Diba? If only they can find, there's one also I've always been telling them, ano bang magigain ng Bayo dito? Ano magigain mo, diba? What is in it for you? Isang dyan, if you're happy because you made a difference in someone's lives, when you make decisions in your work, in our brands, ang dami-daming problema, mas madali parang feeling ko mas madali ako makapagdesisyon kung nung nagsimula kami ng community development, parang easy na lahat. Kasi nakikita na namin the purpose of working. Mas nakikita namin na pag mayaman na sila, may sarili na silang mga, they can stand up on their own feet, then we slowly fade away. And then look for another community. So ganun lang kami. We don't want to be accused. Alam mo naman, ang dami rin gumagamit ng sustainability. But where is their community? There's one, we are now also working with the coffee communities. There was one who offered that, I have communities. We always ask them, please give us pictures, photos of, and documents, or whether to prove lang that you have your own community. You cannot just go to us and claim that you have a community when you don't even have a picture to show. Diba? If you don't want to share your communities with us, then we cannot also verify if you are really, if you're really, if it's true or not, diba? Yeah. So we are very careful. Ang daming gumagamit po kasi ng sustainability because they know that it's the in thing.
Or in the presentation, okay na yon, Sir Cesar, but
I just want his contact data, attorney, your contact data. Your contact data.
Okay. So pero I think yung presentation mo kanina, sir, is okay na yon. And then if you have videos siguro, yung mga communities nyo, the things that you're doing in the community, that's also another form of documentation, di ba, Sir Cesar?
Oh yeah, we have lots of videos in our, di kasi kayo pumupunta sa aming Facebook.
Ang part 2 nito, sir, will be remote. We'll be going to your factory or to your manufacturing. Sure. So we'll go there.
I'll tour you.
I promise yan. Anyway, nakataas ang kamay ni NS Lourdes Cruz. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Well, Attorney Lagon, when I heard you talk at the Clarinet conference, conference on plastics last December, sabi nga, wow, ang galing naman ng ginagawa ninyo. Kasi we're in Future Earth, part of the global Future Earth effort for sustainability, and so we are in Future Earth Philippines. And so dito nakita ko yung example na talagang inuumpisahan yung sustainability by making the source sustainable, yung mga tao, it's people-centered na pagtulong, hindi lang nga yung sabi niyo yung bigay ng dole out, yung ayuda ng ayuda, ano, na yung tao after the ayuda, ganun pa rin, you know, pero ito natutulungan nyo sila na ma-develop, ma-empower, and then when you empower one person, tapos kung nanay yon, that's why it's so important to empower yung women, pati yung pamilya na natutulungan, yung mga anak niya, ano na yan kabit-kabit yan sa pagtulong. And I admire your passion for this, for attaining sustainability, circular economy. And talaga, hats off ako sa inyo.
Ma'am, I will share lang I know you're out of time. Alam niyo po ba, sabi sa amin ng mga taga-Pasig na weavers, dati po binubugbog yan ng mga asawa nila. Ngayon nung malaki na yung kita nila, wala na daw, hindi na daw sila binubugbog at sinuhatid sundo pa. So they're now yun ang po pag may financial independence, nawawala po yung yung away sa pamilya. Imagine na ang laki ng naitutulong na.
Pera talaga yung laging pinag-aawayan.
Yes, kasi ang babae, never po never po natin na consider yung role niya sa society kasi nga walang monetary equivalent Hindi po siya kasama sa GDP, sa GNP. Kasi libre yung pag-aruga ng bata, yung pag-ayos ng tahanan, libre po 'yan. Pero now that they are financially independent, they saw really that their lives have improved and their relationships also.
Sila na nagbubugbog.
Siguro.
Naku, paano ba yan? Kulang na naman ang oras natin. Gusto sana mag-share ni Academician Villarreal, pero I think wala na po tayong oras. Pero promise mo ba sa amin, attorney, that there will be a second part nito? And siguro, Ma'am Luli, ang second part natin ay remote. Pupunta talaga tayo doon sa kung saan nila nire-recycle, manufacture yung mga recycled, yung mga ginagawa nilang ngayon sa wall, ginagamit nila sa floor. Kailangan makita namin yan, attorney.
Antayin ko po pagka nagawa na kasi yung binili kong extruder machine, di po namin yung paandar-andar.
Kailangan nyo na naman po ang DOST para turuan kayong paandarin yung sir.
Hindi rin sila marunong. Hindi rin sila.
Dada.
Po. Yes,
sir. Gusto ko lang paratingin kay attorney.
Sige, sir. Okay, go ahead.
Kinikilabutan ako sa mga halimbawang ibinigay niya. Ngayon, merong suggestion dito, yung isang kasama namin sa camp, Coalition for Agriculture Modernization in the Philippines. Dito, nangungumbida kami nung may mga karanasan katulad mo. Kaya kung magagawa ng arrangement, do you think we can invite you sa camp meeting? Kadalasan, ginagawa namin ng camp meeting Saturday, mga about 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the evening. Pwedeng Zoom to. So, kung pwede sa iyo, I will arrange with our group na makumbida ka namin.
Sige po. As long as my schedule will permit.
Okay, so ang gawin natin ay, hindi, kitata ko na lang kukunin. Dada, ibigay mo na lamang sa akin ang kanyang email address at para bahala na akong gumawa ng connection. Okay?
Ayan po. Talagang
umaani
na lalo ng tagumpay si attorney.
Okay.
Sige po. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Dada, yeah. Sa second time around with Attorney Lagon, we'd like to see the partner.
Yes.
Yung wife ni Attorney. Yung dalawa kasi.
Si Ma'am Ana.
Actually, ako po sub lang. Yung wife ko talaga pong going on the rounds. Ako po pag hindi siya pwede, ako kaya siya alam niyo naman po tayo, kagaya sa karamihan. Pag sinabi po ni Mrs. na ikaw punta na lang po kami. Happy wife, happy life ba? So,
attorney, yung susunod,
hindi speaker of the house lang, ha?
Hindi. So, sa sunod po, siya po ang talagang ano dito.
Dalawa kayo, hindi naman
Kayong dalawa.
We would like to see the both of you.
Syempre po ako nagsusupport lang, pero sa kanya po talaga ang mga programa, mas bagay po sa kanya eh. Kasi alam niyo po ba na we are now attracting the interest of several ambassadors. So marami na po tayong international na inaantay. If I can if I can also invite you, try to visit Greenbelt 5 sa Bayo Atelier. Maski hindi po kayo bumili.
Pwede pong sige po, pupunta kami. Ako sir,
pasyalan niyo po kung paano namin
promise bumibili ako ng Bayo, yung mga white na blouse ko, Bayo talaga yan.
Ang gusto ko lang po ipakita sa inyo na kung paano po kami nagsugal na i-convert. Alam niyo naman po, Greenbelt 5, 3,000 per square meter po yon yung rental dyan. Tapos ginawa-gawa lang namin na pero it has to be done eh. So yun ang aming commitment po. Para makita niyo lang kung ano yung ginawa namin sa weaves. Bakit siya iba?
Yes.
Bakit siya nagkakaiba? Kasi dati, di ba marami naman nag-attempt na eh.
I-schedule natin yan, Ma'am Luli.
Sige,
one of these days. At kukontakin ka namin, attorney, so that we'll really visit you sa Greenbelt 6 ba?
5. Greenbelt 5.
Okay.
Second floor.
Sa Greenbelt, sa second floor. So we'll really do that. Nako, natapos na naman ang ating 1 oras ng kumustahan. Kulang na kulang. No? So talagang, yes, Academician Maalan. Are you waiting?
Pumapalakpak lang ako, ma'am. Pero
nakakapalakpak ka kasi talaga, attorney.
Actually, may tanong ako pero wala ng taon. Attorney, bakit silk lang yung product ninyo? Bakit silk lang?
Silk? Hindi lang po yun. Isa lang po yun sa mga produkto namin.
Kasi silkworm. Silk yung inaano nyo.
Actually po, alam mo po, isasabihin ko po sa inyo, since 2010, si PTRI has been trying to revive the silkworm industry. Ang problema po ng silkworm, it's because marami pong component niyan. So gusto nila i-revive. Ito na naman po, tinanong ko lang sila, because silkworm is very unique. They only eat mulberry leaves, di ba po? So they wanted to expand and make it available in the entire country. Ang isa lang pong tanong ko sa kanila, nasaan yung mga mulberry trees nyo?
Yun lang, kasi kailangan.
Alam niyo po ba walang makasagot sa akin? Walang makasagot. Because for you to link up everything, you have to have mulberry leaves.
Tama.
Kung wala, sayang lang yung effort natin. Taon-taon nagsasamit tayo, taon-taon. So dapat may moriculture.
Moriculture ang tawag.
Kailangan may magtanim naman ng mulberry leaves.
Pero Academician Maala, yung po kanilang ang talagang selling point ng Bayo is yung tawag dito, yung kanilang cotton materials. Opo. Yes.
At saka bakit Bayo pala? Attorney, bakit Bayo pala yung...
Ilonggo kasi kami. The Bayo is a word in...
Damit. Damit, Bayo. Actually, hindi yan Bayo. Bayo, di ba? Bayo.
Meron akong tanong sa iyo, Dada.
Sa akin po? Okay.
Meron akong tanong sa iyo.
Okay, sir.
Bakit every time kulang tayo sa oras, bakit hindi natin dagdagan?
Ayan, yung
may
tanong po nyo,
ba yun?
Sir, yung tanong nyo hindi dapat sa akin, dapat kay NS Cruz.
Ganun ba yun? Dahil every time kulang tayo sa oras, pero kulang sa oras, pero pagkatapos bidahan pa rin tayo ng bidahan.
Yun na nga. Anyway, alam nyo sir, yun po yung what this SDG Action Hour ay yung kulang sa oras, yun yung what keeps it us going. Kaya para we look forward to another Friday, 'di ba? Ganun talaga yon. Anyway, yung second part natin, pupunta tayo sa Greenbelt 5 para makita natin yung actual weaving, anong ginawa nila doon, So makikita natin yan, attorney. So we'll contact you in the nearest future. Hindi namin pagtatagalin yan. Tama ba, NS Cruz, NS Luli?
So, doon tayo mag-zoom from there.
Yes, pagkawin natin remote. Parang remote yung ating
isa pang
SDG Action Hour.
Isa pang very important question, Attorney Napon ako, or I may be wrong, doon sa program ninyo, meron ba kayong scholarship program para sa mga member ng community? Do you have scholarship program? Because
ako biglang nag-isip si attorney parang
okay lang wala because
hindi po. Actually po nung nag-start yung Bayo Foundation, marami po kaming scholars sa mga more on fine arts. Hanggang
para sa fabric din
pero
sir.
dun sa ngayon sa Baguio, we are now working on scholarships dun sa together in collaboration with Berkeley School. So mga artists kasi more on artists.
I see, okay.
Sa design designing.
So we are now si Victory Liner nagbigay sa amin ng funds for scholarships. So baka magsisimula kami next year.
Kaya po na itanong yon dito sa aming 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗃 ang isang component talaga, humahanap kami ng scholarship program para makapag-aral sila sa kolehiyo. In addition to scholarship para sa mga nasa elementary school. Well, in the first place, marami sa kanilang mga parents ay had limited education. So we are thinking na talagang para yung community na ibulad, yung mga susunod na salilay dapat naman ay madagdagan ng karoon.
Siguro, scholarship on weaving.
Yung scholarship.
Mga ganyan, Para for na rin yan, attorney, siguro parang, eto na, sustainability na talaga.
Sustainability.
In fact, ang gusto nga malaman yung mga nagwi-weave doon sa Pasig, ano ba yung mga edad nila, mga matatanda na? Kasi I know na kaya sinasabi mo, sunset, sunset, yung weaving because yung mga bata ayaw na nilang mag-weave, di ba, attorney? In fact, sa Iloilo, yung hablon, di ba, dati napakasikat niyan, pero ngayon, wala ka na talagang makikitang tinitinda dito sa Metro Manila na hablon. Tatanda ko yung nanay ko, tsaka auntie ko, yan ang mga binibili nila. Sa House of Rami, may mga ganyan pa, pero parang nawala na dahil yung mga bata ayaw na nilang mag-weave nung hablon, Ang ganda-ganda. So, siguro yun din, naiisip na yan ni attorney, sinusulat na yan.
Oo. So, ano na yan? Yun ang, sa Pasig, you will see mga bata lahat.
Ayan, that's good. Bata na talaga. Yun siguro din is another breakthrough, attorney, kasi mga bata yung talagang nagwi-weave. Kasi pumunta ka sa Baguio, puro matatanda. Sa Iloilo, na napunta kami dun sa nagwi-weave ng hablon, puro matatanda. So maganda ngayon na nasisimulan na ng mga bata. So talagang kulang. Sorry Academician Ruben Villarreal. Talagang laging kulang yung oras natin para we should always look forward for another Friday. Ayan. So marami pong salamat sa lahat ng mga nakatagapakinig natin sa hapon na to. And most especially, thank you po, Attorney Leo Lagon, for taking time out of your busy schedule. Napaka-busy nyo. Pero nandito kayo. But next time, we hope, nandito na si Ma'am Ana, para si YP at saka si Hubby nandito na talagang utak ng Bayo. So sana makita natin yan. And we are promising you na susunod nating makakadaong pangpalad si attorney, it will be remote. Pupunta kami doon sa Greenbelt 5 para makita natin yung aktual na ginagawa nila at sino yung mga talagang recipient ng kanilang weaving initiative. So maraming salamat sa ating mga academicians, sa ating mga national scientists for being here. Sana po magkita-kita ulit tayo next Friday. And mabuhay ang ating bio products at ang 𝗙𝗃𝗍𝗆. Marami pong salamat. Thank you so much and see you again next Friday. Thank you.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Talagang babay na ha.
Babay na.